The first time I ever took up wrestling was when I was in third grade. I tried it out for a year, and I actually didn't like it at all. I also played other sports, softball, volleyball, track, other things like that. But during my freshman year is when we brought on the women's program at Charles City. I decided that I would take it up in memory of my brother that passed away in an ATV accident a couple years prior. That's when I started, and I've fallen in love with it since then. So the program in Charles City, when I very first started my freshman year, they had already been doing it a year prior, but I was on the second year team. It was pretty small still. The second year, so the year that I joined, there's definitely a few more girls that joined. I think that we had like 8 girls on the team. The training for wrestling is definitely like none other. Not very many other sports train like we do in wrestling. The high intensity in the room and the tough workouts that we go through is both mentally and physically challenging. And so to put yourself through that is something that is very difficult, but is also so rewarding in the end. So the road leading back to my second state title, it definitely was a little bit of a rough one, not one that I was expecting to take. I had been training extremely hard all year long. I drive an hour one way, 4 days a week, every single week, on top of normal practices, just to get the extra practice in and to work a little bit harder. And I think that that played a huge role in my success this year. There was a little bit of pressure coming back in because everyone, I have a target on my back and they're coming for that state title. But that gave me one more thing to motivate me and push me to go harder and harder. The week leading up, I definitely prepared myself mentally because I already knew I was physically prepared. I had been going to high-level national tournaments. I traveled across the world to go to the World Beach Championships in Romania, and just putting myself in these high-pressure situations and feeling that pressure just so that I would be ready for this state tournament.
Do it again!
I did compete against Macy Smith 2 times prior to state, and I knew leading up to then that that would be the match to beat. It was definitely a match that I had to mentally prepare myself for. I had been going through all the scenarios and just putting myself in that situation throughout practices and knowing that no matter what situation I got in, that I was gonna finish it out and I was gonna give my best foot forward, and I wouldn't go down without a fight. I took up wrestling in honor of my brother Logan that passed away in an ATV accident. All he ever wanted was to win a state title. He lived and breathed wrestling, and that's just something that he wanted so badly. The first time that I became a state champion, I pointed up, and it was kind of a gesture as thank you, because he pushed me to get there. He gave me this sport, he opened the doors for me, and the opportunities have been endless. So I owe that to him. I think that I've learned more about myself in the last couple years than I ever thought imaginable. This sport has brought me to become a better person and opened so many more doors for me. I never would have thought that I'd be traveling halfway across the world to go compete in a wrestling tournament. I think that it has driven my work ethic and my dedication to the next level. This is something that I want to continue throughout my life, and having amazing coaches that push you to go harder and harder each day, even when you think you can't keep going, you can. So I think that this sport has definitely brought me to learn more about myself than I thought that I could. You can set yourself hard and high goals because you can achieve them, and just pushing yourself until you do.
Funding for In Their Words is provided by Musco Lighting, the sports lighting specialist, providing lighting systems for you, your project, and your community. And by
The Pella Roll Screen Foundation is a proud supporter of Iowa PBS. Pella Windows and Doors strives to better our communities and build a better tomorrow.